Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam Gacchāmi Buddham Saranam Gacchāmi Dhammam Saranam Gacchāmi Sangham Saranam
Buddhang saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi,
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
A very good evening and a very good morning to everyone, wherever you are at the different corner of the world. Welcome to today's International Bhikkhuni Day program, and we welcome and rejoice with all the most venerable bhikkhus and also all the bhikkhunis and all anagarikas and all Dhamma brothers and sisters, upasakas and upasikas, and guests for this program. Indeed, we are very delightful to have our most venerable Bhante Sumitta Mahathero and also Bhante Seewalee Mahathero to join us in this program, and also all other bhikkhus and all our Mahatheris, who have come together on this auspicious event to celebrate International Bhikkhu Day, Bhikkhunī Day on this night, and together we celebrate in a meaningful way. This year marked the 2,606 years, for the founding of the Bhikkhuni Sangha, and in our era is the 12 years of International Bhikkhunī Day. And today is also a very special day as we celebrate. It's also the 158 years birth anniversary of Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala. And today Bhante Seewalee Thero is also celebrating, marking this day at the holy site of Sangha. So we are indeed very blessed to celebrate this day together, and the connection that of all our pioneers that brings about the fourfold Sangha for the well-being, for the happiness, and for the benefit of the many. So we'd like to welcome everyone tonight for spending time with us, and also to learn and be able also to rejoice with our Mahatheris. And today, on this special day, we are also making a very important felicitation for some of our Mahatheris, who have thrived and served for 20 years. And we are also very fortunate to have all the Mahatheris coming together here to share with us their journey and their inspiration, their determination, and also to give us all the sharings of what Bhikkhunis can do in the world, and how this Bhikkhuni Sangha will thrive to serve the Buddha Sasana and to bring about the well-being of the many. So let me extend my welcome to all most venerable bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, all the upasakas and upasikas, and all our Dhamma brothers and Dhamma friends, to wish all of you a happy Bhikkhunī Day and a happy birth anniversary of Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala, and also Venerable Bhikkhu Seewalee Mahathero extend his greetings to all the bhikkhunis and everyone here, and he will join us later, but he extends his greetings to all, wishing everyone well and to have a fruitful program today. So without further ado, let me invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Lupap Mahatheri to give us the opening speech. Venerable.
Thank you, Venerable Sumangala. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. I pay respect to the Bhikkhu Sangha, to the Bhikkhunī Sangha, dear Dhamma's friends. Today, the fourfold Sangha gathered together to celebrate the International Bhikkhunī Day. The idea of this meaningful day was started in the year 2011 by Susan Pembroke, the founder and former president of Alliance for Bhikkhunis, who had the brilliant idea of establishing a global and grassroots effort to learn about, celebrate, and pay respect to the Bhikkhunī Sangha, honoring their essential role in preserving the Dhamma. The women we honor may be inspiring historical figures, ordained women, or lay women teachers who have transformed our practice. It is also an opportunity to do some fundraising to introduce people to the Bhikkhunī Sangha. On this day, we will celebrate our spiritual legacy to learn about the history of prominent Buddhist women, meditate and talk about the women we love and admire. International Bhikkhuni Day is celebrated around the full moon in September, when Mahapajapati, the first Bhikkhuni, was ordained, marking the start of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Nearly 1,000 years after the Bhikkhuni Sangha disappeared from the world, a significant step in the revival of the full Theravada Bhikkhuni ordination occurred with the 1998 Bodhi Gaya ordination. It was one of the first major steps to re-establish the Bhikkhuni ordination in countries such as Sri Lanka, where it had died down centuries ago, and to introduce this precious ordination in countries and traditions where it has not previously existed. We are deeply inspired to see the Bhikkhuni Sangha thriving in so many places, from Asia, where the Bhikkhuni Sangha is nourished by deep historical roots, to the flourishing communities in Europe and North America, Australia, to the beginnings of new growth in Latin America. Last year, 2021, the UTBSI, or United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International, was established. The mission of UTBSI is to coordinate and unite the International Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. We are inspired and follow the grace and resilience that the Bhikkhunis always have shown in walking the path of the Dhamma despite adversity. And today, 17 September, is also the 158th birth anniversary of Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala, the founder of Mahabodhi Society of India. Mahabodhi Society is the most important Buddhist association that have played a very important role in the restoration of Buddhism in India and many other countries. And nowadays, many Mahabodhi Society centers were set up in many Indian cities, and this had the effect of raising Indian consciousness about Buddhism. Our program today is coordinated by UTBSI and Mahabodhi Society. So our program is dedicated to our Mahapajapati Gotami Mahatheri and all the Arahanteris who were our brilliant examples, and also to dedicate to Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala. I hope that we will learn a lot from our speakers today, and we can all together have more inspiration in our practice and in the propagation of Dhamma. So thank you so much, and I would like to invite you to join our program today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Lupap. Venerable Lupap is a secretary of the UTBSI and also the Abbess of Sumitta Bhikkhuni Āramā from Vietnam. Now, without further ado, also we'd like to invite for the blessing chant for our program to be carried out fruitfully. And we would like to invite Venerable Bodhicitta Terry from Australia to lead this chant. Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta, please.
Thank you. Maha Sangharatning Avasarai, with the permission of the Maha Sangha, let us pay respect to our Lord Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma Sambuddhassa Arahang Arahoti Namine Arahang Papang Nakare Arahatha Palang Patto Arahang Namate Namo Samma Sambuddha Jnanine Samma Sambuddha Desana Samma Sambuddha Lokasmin Samma Sambuddha Te Namo Vinja Charana Sampanno Passa Vijapakasita Atithanagatumpanno Vinja Charana Te Namo Sugato Sugatattanam Sugato Sundaram Picha Nibbānam Sugatim Yanti Sugato Te Namate Namo Loka Viduti Namine Atithanagate Vidu Saṅkhāra Satthamokase Loka Vidu Namate Namo Anuttaro Jnana Silena Yo Lokassa Anuttaro Anuttaro Puja Lokasmin Tang Namassami Anuttaro Sarati Sarati Deva Yo Lokassa Susarati Sarati Puja Lokasmin Tang Namassama Sarati Deva Yakha Manusanam Loke Agha Palang Dadang Adang Tang Dhammayang Tanang Purisa Janyate Namo Bhagava Bhagava Yuttu Bhanghang Kilesa Vahato Bhangang Sansara Muttaro Bhagavan Namate Namo. I pay my respect to the Lord Buddha. Let us all pay respect and salute to the Lord Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Bodhicitta Terry, for such a calming chant to allow us to remember and to connect our heart to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And with this peace of mind and readiness to listen to the Dhamma, let us recall to mind the story of the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Let us sit down and relax and watch the video on Mahapajapati and the 500 great Parivaras journey to Upasampada.
Mahapajapati's going forth.
At old age, King Suddhodana got sick and then passed away. Queen Mahapajapati, with the whole royal family and people, came to the cremation ceremony of King Suddhodana. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was dwelling among the Sakyans at Kapilavatthu in the Nigrodha Park, observing the rainy season retreat together with a great company of monks. After the passing of King Suddhodana, at that time, Mahapajapati Gotami approached the Buddha, paid homage with her head at the Buddha's feet, and standing back to one side, said,
Blessed One, can women attain the fourth fruit of recluseship? For that reason, can women in this right teaching and discipline leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless, to train in the path?
The Blessed One replied,
Wait, Gotami. Do not have this thought, that in this right teaching and discipline, women leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless to train in the path. Mahapajapati Gotami, you shave off your hair like this, put on ochre robes, and for your whole life, practice the pure holy life.
Then, being restrained by the Buddha, Mahapajapati Gotami paid homage with her head at the Buddha's feet, circumambulated him thrice, and left. At that time, the monks were mending the Buddha's robes, thinking, Soon the Blessed One, having completed the rainy season retreat among the Sakyans, the 3 months being over, his robes mended and complete, taking his robes and bowl, will journey among the people. Mahapajapati Gotami heard that the monks were mending the Buddha's robes, thinking,
Soon the Blessed One, having completed the rainy season retreat among the Sakyans, the 3 months being over, his robes mended and complete, taking his robes and bowl, will journey among the people.
Having heard it, Mahapajapati Gotami approached the Buddha, paid homage with her head at the Buddha's feet, and standing back to one side, said,
Blessed One, can women attain the fourth fruit of recluseship? For that reason, can women in this right teaching and discipline leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless, to train in the path?
The Blessed One again replied,
Wait, Gotami. Do not have this thought, that in this right teaching and discipline, women leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless to train in the path. Mahapajapati Gotami, you shave off your hair like this, put on ochre robes, and for your whole life practice the pure holy life.
Having been restrained again by the Buddha, Mahapajapati Gotami paid homage with her head at the Buddha's feet, circumambulated him thrice, and left. Then Mahapajapati Gotami approached the Buddha again, paid homage with her head at the Buddha's feet, and standing back to one side, said,
Blessed One, can women attain the fourth fruit of reclusive? For that reason, can women in this right teaching and discipline leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless to train in the path?
A third time, the Blessed One replied,
Wait, Gotami. Do not have this thought, that in this right teaching and discipline, women leave the household out of faith, becoming homeless to train in the path. Mahapajapati Gotami, you shave off your hair like this, put on ochre robes, and for your whole life practice the pure holy life.
The Buddha explained further that he refuses because conditions are not yet suitable for such a move, as her living the holy life in celibacy might not last long if she were to become a homeless wanderer. His refusal would be just an expression of concern that at a time when the Buddhist order was still in its beginnings, lack of proper dwelling places and the other living conditions of a homeless life might be too much for the Sakyan ladies. Therefore, he tells her that she should better live a celibate life in a more protected environment at home, having cut off her hair and put on robes. At that time, the Blessed One, having completed the rainy season retreat among the Sakyans, the 3 months being over, his robes mended and complete, taking robes and bowl, went journeying among the people. Mahapajapati Gotami heard that the Blessed One, having completed the rainy season retreat among the Sakyans, the 3 months being over, his robes mended and complete, taking robes and bowl, had gone journeying among the people. Mahapajapati Gotami, together with some elderly Sakyan women, followed behind the Buddha, who in stages approached Nadika, where he stayed at the brick hall in Nadika, thereby proving their willingness to brave the conditions of a homeless life. On witnessing their keenness and ability to face the difficulties of a homeless life, or else on being informed of it, the Buddha gives them permission to join the order. Mahapajapati Gotami's poem.
Homage to the Buddha, the hero, supreme among all beings, who made me, as well as many others, find release from dukkha.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
This video have let us recall our mind on the journey to become a Bhikkhuni and the development of Bhikkhuni Sangha. And we are very thankful for the illustrator team for making effort to share with us this journey again. And we know that this is a journey of patience, a journey of determination, resolution, perseverance, and waiting for the right time. So indeed, the Buddha has mentioned, it's with patience that Nibbana is achieved. So we can see that from the past till now, the Bhikkhuni Sangha is always very patient to develop themselves and also to develop the Sangha. And tonight, without much delay, we'd like to invite the first speaker to share with us the journey of the Bhikkhuni in the aspect of rules of Bhikkhuni Sangha. And we'd like to invite the most venerable Bhikkhu Nivitigala Sumitta Mahathero, the founder of Dhamma USA, to come and share with us on this topic. And we are very thankful to Bhante as the time difference, now it's about 5 a.m. in USA. We are really thankful for Bhante to come and give this sharing to all the Bhikkhunis and also the Fourfold community. Bhante, may you start first?
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully self-enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, everyone. Let me at the very outset congratulate the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha for continuously organizing this event despite many challenges. And also my respect to Bodhisattva Gunopeta Great Anagarika Dhammapada on his 150 plus birthday anniversary. He was born on September 17, and he also started this Mahabodhi Society of India in 1881, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 1891. And ever since Buddhism in India revived, and today we can see so many millions and millions of people coming over to India to pay respect to those places where the Buddha actually lived. So we are so grateful. Also, I'm so happy to see so many Bhikkhuni Sangha today joining, and everywhere in the world we see wonderful Bhikkhunis are coming up, and many also women are deciding to join the Bhikkhuni order. Just last week I had the opportunity to attend another Bhikkhuni order ordination in San Francisco, where Dhammadharini Bhikkhuni Monastery, headed by Tathalokā, and those wonderful Bhikkhunis have organized that Bhikkhuni order. Now we have 2 more new Bhikkhunis, and we have Cambodian Bhikkhunis there, and we have American Bhikkhunis. We have many Bhikkhunis, especially in the West. I can see they are doing a great job, and I'm also so happy that the Bhikkhunis in Asia are also doing well, organizing well, working together, united is a good word, because the Buddha said, Sukha Sanghassa Samagi Samagganam Tapo Sukho. The unity of the Sangha is such a blessing. And when we meditate together, when we practice together, it brings us so much good energy. So I noticed, I was actually so impressed when I visited Āramā Bodhi Hermitage. I did not expect the Bhikkhuni Sangha braving themselves to practice in the wilderness and in the wild forest over there, despite so many challenges with mountain lions, rattlesnakes, scorpions, poison oak leaves, wildfires, and also no internet, no phone connection. And the Bhikkhunis are practicing inside the deep forest. That was so impressive. And they are really into practice. So I want to actually appreciate the Bhikkhuni Sangha who are working on their path and who are trying to find that noble teaching, noble path, and fusion. So what is more important for all of us is to actually find somehow a way to attain at least Sotapanna within this birth. Whether you are a Bhikkhu or whether you are a Bhikkhuni, whether you are a Upasaka or Upasika, all of us, we have the ultimate goal to attain enlightenment. At least we should have the goal to attain Sotapanna. That is the most important thing. And when we talk about the bhikkhus or bhikkhunis, they have more freedom, more privilege. So as lay people, you have so many things to do, so many other things to do, right? You have to take care of your children, you have to take care of your household chores, businesses, so many things. And when we talk about the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, their life is much more easier and comfortable. Why we call bhikkhu or bhikkhuni? Because sansare bhayang ikkhati bhikkhu. It is applied to the bhikkhunis as well. We need to have fear in the sansara. That is why we become bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. When we enter the order, we request our preceptor to ordain us to get rid of this sansara, to eliminate the suffering. May you, most venerable preceptor, ordain me, allow me to enter the order. So, Sabba Dukkha Nissarana Nibbana Satchikaranatthaya Imang Khasavang Gahetva Pabba Jetamang Bhante Anukampang Payadaya. This is the request that we all make. The bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, we do the same. So the bhikkhunis may be doing it Mahatheri or Bhikkhunī. It is just that female version of requesting the Bhikkhunī Mahatheri to ordain them. So the idea is the same. to get rid of this suffering, this samsaric misery. That is why we are in this robe. That is much more easier for us. As bhikkhus and bhikkhuni, we also don't have to worry about our hairstyle. We don't have to worry about, I think, especially the women, they are also, you have to look nicer in this mundane world. So you take a lot of time taking care of your hair, taking care of your nail polishing and makeup and all these things. But the Bhikkhuni Sangha, when they ordain, they don't have to worry about that. They shave off their beautiful hair. So, but then yobbani in samannagato susukala kesa. Buddha has mentioned those wonderful youthful people who have got rid of their susukala kesa, very dark hair. I think when it comes to the West, it is not that susukala. It is different, maybe blonde hair, but it is still a very precious thing for a person to look good. And so the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis have got rid of that. And in Dasadhamma Sutta also the Buddha talks about 10 factors that we have to constantly remind how important it is that we think of these 10 factors. So having said that, I would like to talk about how important it is to have the Bhikkhuni order in this world. I remember when I was in East Coast, Empty Cloud Monastery, every single morning we used to chant Aggasavika Bhikkhuni, foremost Bhikkhuni disciples. We have bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and upasakas and upasikas there. So in the morning chanting, I see that chanting all the time. And some people ask me, why you are chanting this thing all the time? And I said, you keep looking at these characters, these wonderful bhikkhunis, Mahatheris, those great enlightened bhikkhunis. That is why you have to read it every day, chant it every day, inspire yourself. You have to inspire yourself. That is why you need to chant that. Nako ekang eva satang na dve satani, na tini satani, na chattari satani, na pancha satani. Athako bhiyo vaya bhikkhuniyo, mama savika, asavanang khaya anasavang, cheto vimutting panya vimutting, Ditteva dhamme sayang abhinya satchikatva upasampajya viharanti. There is not just 100, 200, 300, 400 or 500. There are even more than that. The Bhikkhuni disciples who have eliminated their defilements and attained wisdom-based mental liberation in this very life with their own direct knowledge. What a wonderful and inspiring beginning to this Aggasavika Bhikkhuni. And then we have the first Bhikkhuni. Monks, this is the foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in seniority, Maha Pajapati Gotami. Monks, this is the foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in great wisdom, Khema. And then we also have Bhikkhuni disciples in psychic powers, Uppalavanna. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in upholding Vinaya, Patachara. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in teaching Dhamma, Dhammadharini. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in meditation, Nanda. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in energy, Sona. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in clairvoyance, Sakula. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in strictness of higher knowledge, Bhadda Kundala Kesa. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in remembering past lives, Bhadda Kapilani. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in attaining great knowledge, Bhadda Kachana. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in wearing coarse robes, Kisa Gotami. Foremost of my Bhikkhuni disciples in devotion through faith, Sigala Mata. These are those wonderful, wonderful, liberated Bhikkhunis who have been felicitated by the Buddha, the Blessed One, as the great Mahasavikas, foremost Bhikkhuni disciples. They have fulfilled paramitas to attain such privileges status. And why we should recite these Mahasavika, Aggasavika, Bhikkhuni stanzas every single day in order to inspire that you also want to become one like that. You also want to become a Bhikkhuni like that, Mahatheri like that, and enlightened Bhikkhuni like that. That is exactly why we need to recite that thing. So especially for the Bhikkhuni disciples, and also for the lay upasikas, I would highly recommend you recite this Bhikkhuni, Aggasavika Bhikkhuni Sutta continuously. So who knows, you will be able to be one day like Mahapajapati. Who knows, you can be one like Khema, Uppalavanna. You can be one like Dhammadharini, and so many other wonderful, wonderful Bhikkhunis. You have the opportunity. So Buddha has given us the opportunity to practice. We all have the Buddha nature within us. We all have the potential to become a Buddha, Sambuddha, Pacheka Buddha, or Arahanta Buddha. So we can attain any of these stages, provided we are willing to commit ourselves to fulfill the paramita. One of the very, very important thing that I noticed as a monk, we have seen back in Sri Lanka, we have seen as monks, we have a duty. A lot of people really, really respect us. Even during the pandemic, people did not leave the monks hungry. I have seen it everywhere in the world, how these lay people have devoted themselves, dedicated themselves to take care of the monks. It's amazingly wonderful. And the monks and the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis also have been dedicated to take care of the lay devotees. They are compassionate. They are walking examples of compassion, loving kindness, and full of devotion to the Buddha Dhamma. So we actually help each other, mutually beneficial to each other. And I noticed that when I was little, I saw some of those, I heard the stories of people like Christian nuns, how they dedicate themselves and their role in helping the community. And I noticed that we have a lot of Sila Matas in our country. But unfortunately, the Sila Matas in our country, I think tens of thousands of them are there in our country without proper recognition. That is unfortunate. And today, when I see people coming to the temples, especially the women and young daughters, they feel more comfortable in talking to the Bhikkhunis. They feel more comfortable in talking to the Bhikkhunis, meeting the Bhikkhunis. There is a reason, of course, because that they find motherly-like figure in the Bhikkhuni. They find sisterly-like figure in the Bhikkhunis. That is why they feel more comfortable. And we as Bhikkhus cannot feel that yet. I noticed that this one is really missing. When I was actually a little Samanera, a young monk, we noticed that there are certain things that we need to work on them. And then I was so happy in 1990s, when I was studying in Delhi University, I saw the first Bhikkhunis after a long gap of the absence of Bhikkhuni, Theravada Bhikkhuni Sasana. Venerable Vipulasara Mahathero and some other monks and nuns worked together to restart the Bhikkhuni order. I was there in India at that time, and when I heard that news, I felt so glad. Oh, this is something that we should, it should have happened, and I was so happy. And ever since, I was also supporting that. I think it is more important that we have the opportunity equally as the Buddha was someone who has given freedom of thought, freedom and also an infinite, immeasurable, unconditional loving kindness and compassion. And therefore, we should be able to be happy about that. We should have that sympathetic joy to see the Bhikkhunis coming up and working together or working on their own way. But it is more important now that we can see more and more Bhikkhunis are working together as united Bhikkhunis. I wish and pray that all these Bhikkhunis have long life, good health, and the best of spirit to continue this journey and to inspire the world that all the women in the world can also be benefited by practicing this noble path. And with that, I would like to conclude. And the role of women as Bhikkhunis, whether you are in the West or whether you are in the East, you all have a duty to perform. One, as a practitioner, you need to strengthen yourself, consolidate yourself in the Dhamma, in the practice. And then you improve, you strengthen your theory, that spiritual practice. And then don't stay in the forest forever. Come back to the cities and work with the people and help those people. And you can be a walking example, a role model. And you can be an inspiring person, just like 7-year-old Negro the Samanera who inspired Emperor Ashoka, who could change the world for the better. Ever since the Buddha Sasana changed for the better, and that transformation took place. And I wish and envision that our Bhikkhunis practice in the Dhamma and strengthen themselves like in a strong practice of Dhamma, and then come back to the society, walk as role models, wonderful Bhikkhunis, so that more and more women in this world can also be enlightened with your help. And I hope this will be happening, and more Bhikkhunis would be coming. Now we can see Bhikkhunis in US, Bhikkhunis in Australia, Bhikkhunis in Europe, in Italy, in Germany, in England, and everywhere in the world. So nice to see. And many parts of Asia too. We have now Theravada Bhikkhuni is coming up. It is such a great happiness as a Bhikkhu, as a monk. I'm so happy to see that. And I wholeheartedly invoke blessings upon the Bhikkhuni Sangha. May you all be well, happy, healthy with the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. May you be able to attain your spiritual goal. Remember, to attain at least Sotapanna would be the objective of our practicing, and then also help the people in the world so that we can become walking Buddha statues. We can become walking stupas. We can become walking Bodhi trees. With that good intention, I conclude again with the blessings to all of you. May you all be well, happy, healthy, safe, wherever you are. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you, help you, protect you, and guide you towards the right path. May all Devas, Brahmas, and all sentient, all Kalyana Mitta friends bless you, help you, protect you, and guide you towards the right path. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We like to thank Venerable Sumitta Mahathero for his kind words and guidance. And the Bhikkhuni Sangha really needs more and more competent Bhikkhu like Bhante to guide and to lead us to walk the path and to establish the whole assembly to shine by each other and to have the loving kindness to continue to care for each other and to grow. And we'd like to also share with you Bhante's effort and Bhante's care for the people. And as you know that Bhante has actually do a lot to find this path to help himself and also to help others. And Bhante is the founder of Dhamma USA, a community-based charity organization, and to launch his community care and spiritual care activities, just like Bhante tells us, to consolidate ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, and to practice well. And then we can be able to serve the community well. So Bhante is also actively engaged in social welfare and spiritual care activities in California and other states, and giving Dhamma talks, suttas discussion, meditations, Pali language classes, and helping many other underprivileged families and children in Sri Lanka. And so Bhante also is doing this project, children education projects in India. Besides that, of course, Bhante is a researcher, is on philosophy of Aranta ideal, as depicted in Maha. So that's why Bhante appealed to all of us, cultivate towards at least to reach Sotapanna. Yeah? And Bhante also started other important areas of studies, especially the US Pali Society. And Bhante has actually classes online, which we find it very helpful, Bhante, for learning Pali. And exhibition, and Bhante also are teaching in different topics like ethics in Buddhist ministry, fundamentals of Buddhism, introduction to Buddhist psychology, and more at the University of the West. You can see that Bhante's biography. Yeah, Bhante works very, very diligently, very kind and lovingly to care for even prison people, and to engage Buddhist Alliance in the Southern California, and also teaching at the Homeboys Industries, yeah, in Los Angeles from time to time. Bhante also works very open-heartedly with many Buddhist temples in Los Angeles, with Dhamma sharing and meditation, to help the community. So Bhante is also a frequent visitor to Chicago Buddhist Vihara, Long Island Meditation Center in New York, and Empty Cloud Monastery in New Jersey to conduct Dhamma talks and practice meditation. So before Bhante arrived at USA, Bhante also has been working with the Bhikkhu University of Sri Lanka as a senior lecturer in English. And Bhante has completed 2 bachelor degrees and 3 master degrees prior to pursuing his doctoral degree at the University of the West. So indeed, today we are very, very lucky, very, very fortunate to have Bhante with us, as Bhante is a competent bhikkhu who has carried out his duty to prolong the Buddha Sasana in helping to also establish and support the Bhikkhuni Sangha, so that the Bhikkhuni Sangha can also strengthen themselves to practice well and to serve the Buddha Sasana. So in this, Bhante has become the important bhikkhu on the bhikkhu side of ordination, so that the ordination lineage can be carried out continuously, and the support in their maintenance and practice during their uposatha, and to give ovada to Bhikkhuni Sangha. Indeed, we wish Bhante a long, healthy and blissful life, and continue to spread the Dhamma far and wide. Thank you so much, Bhante. Now we would like to continue with our Dhamma sharing. A talk from USA too, and we'd like to invite Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathalokā Mahatheri, the founder of Dhammadharini Bhikkhuni Monastery, and also the Theravada Bhikkhuni Association of North America. So Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathalokā was born in US. She entered monastic life 30 years ago and received Bhikkhuni Upasampada, full ordination with the Sri Lanka Sangha in California in 1997, with the late Venerable Avampala Ratanasara Mahathero as preceptor. In 2005, she co-founded Dhammadharini Support Foundation, together with the first monastic community for Theravada Bhikkhunis in the Americas. For her groundbreaking work in 2006, Venerable Tathalokā was awarded as an outstanding woman in Buddhism at the United Nations in Bangkok. Inspired by Buddhist traditions, in 2008, Venerable co-founded Āramā Bodhi Hermitage on the Sonoma Coast, and later Dhammadharini Monastery in the Sonoma Mountain area of Northern California. In 2009, she became the first contemporary Western woman to be appointed a Bhikkhuni preceptor. Venerable Tathalokā first received instruction in mindfulness and insight practices at age 10, and further studying and training with Indian, Korean, Thai, Sri Lankan, and Burmese meditation teachers, including the Thai forest traditions of the most Venerable Ajahn Man Buddhadatta and the Burmese Vipassana meditation masters Sayadaw U Pandita and Pa'aw Sayadaw. Her practice and teaching are profoundly influenced by the Buddha's teachings as contained in the canonical early Buddhist suttas, together with the teachings and practices of forest and insight meditation traditions. So up to 2022, Venerable has become a Bhavattini and teacher to more than 50 Bhikkhunis and Samaneris. So today let us hear from Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathalokā Mahatheri on the subject on the Bhikkhuni Sangha's living legacy.
The Bhikkhuni Sangha's living legacy. offered in remembrance of the 2606th founding anniversary of the Buddha's Bhikkhuni Sangha and fulfillment of his founding intention to establish a fourfold community of disciples, heirs to his sasana. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namasami. So first let me offer my gratitude and respects to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and to our fully awakened Sangha forebears, to all those who've practiced well, and to all those who've passed down the Buddha's living legacy to this day. To our founding Bhikkhuni Teris, Maha Pajapati Gautami Teri, foremost among them, and to all our luminary Sangha leaders today, including our Kalyanamitta Bhantes, and to all those Bhikkhunis senior to me around the world, including among the renascent Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. Some people say that the Bhikkhuni Sangha lineage was lost, whether in the time of the Buddha, after 500 years, or 1,000 years ago, but this may be based on a wrong idea. The historical and Vinaya perspective. Per the ancient early Buddhist Pali text tradition, the Bhikkhuni Sangha is originally established through monastic ordination, papacha and upasampada, granted by the Buddha himself, and at his direction by the Bhikkhu Sangha. The Bhikkhu Sangha's ordination lineage also stems from the Buddha. Thus we can see that both lineages, that is the Bhikkhu Sangha ordination lineage and the Bhikkhuni Sangha ordination lineage, stem from the Buddha himself. They are the Buddha's lineage, the lineage of the Buddha's Sangha. When the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis disappeared in South Asia due to an influx of extremely difficult and violent social and political conditions which arose, South Asian Buddhists needed to tap into the lineage again, and were able to do so from where that lineage had flown. We can compare this to the branches of a flowing river or stream. In time of drought, it may even continue to flow underground, but can be tapped into again and brought to the surface for the benefit of the people and living beings. Thus, the Bhikkhu Sanghas of South Asia, of Sri Lanka, of India, of Nepal and Bangladesh have been able to be revived due to the Buddha's lineage still existing as a living tradition in its branches and streams. Likewise, and very much the same for the Bhikkhunis. When we analyze the canonical Vinaya teachings of the Tipitaka, we come to understand that it's the very same lineage with which the Bhikkhuni Sangha was originally founded and activated 2,606 years ago, according to classical Theravada counting. It existed even before the first Bhikkhuni was ordained, and continued to exist even when the Bhikkhunis could not be seen, as it was still a living lineage alive within the branches of the Bhikkhu Sangha, only needing to be tapped into once again. We can see this clearly in Vinaya. It's very clear in the Theravada tradition's canonical, commentarial and sub-commentarial Pali texts, as well as in other traditions, canonical and commentarial Vinaya texts. If a bhikkhuni is ordained by dual ordination, if she spontaneously changes gender, she to he automatically becomes a bhikkhu. We can also see this very clearly in the Mula Sarastivada Vinaya, preserved in recently translated texts of the Himalayan traditions. She does not need to be ordained again. Now she, that is, now he, must follow the Patimokkha precepts of a bhikkhu and live with the Bhikkhu Sangha. That's all. Likewise, if a bhikkhu changes sex, he automatically becomes a member of the Bhikkhuni Sangha, with the Bhikkhuni Patimokkha precepts, and he, now she, should live with the Bhikkhuni Sangha. In this way, we clearly understand that there is one lineage only, the Buddha's lineage, and that the nature of Patimokkha Sila, the nature of Upasampada, ordination, transcends sex and gender and does not depend upon it. This is Vinaya. Whether we speak and think in gendered and dualistic terms, saying Bhikkhu Sangha or Bhikkhuni Sangha, or we say Ubato Sangha, speaking of the dual Sangha of bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Ubato Sangha means both wings, both halves. It's also written Upayata Sangha. Both wings or both halves implies the whole. Anyone fully ordained, fully accepted into the Sangha through Upasampada, whether bhikkhus or bhikkhunis, are members of the whole. This part is very important. We can also see and understand this very easily and clearly, likewise in the Dhamma, with regards to the Dhamma, and with regards to the Dhammasota, the noble stream, the stream of the Dhamma, in which rests all stages of the Arahant path, the 4 pairs and 8 kinds of noble beings in path and fruits. This is likewise transcendent and genderless, sourced and based in the Asankhaya Dhamma, the unconditioned, while able to be realized and manifest within conditions, within these very bodies and minds, when touching the Dhamma, opening the pure and stainless Dhamma eye, and gaining vision of the deathless Nibbana. In fact, the early Buddhist texts witness that the Buddha himself very frequently spoke of his teaching, his dispensation in both theory and practice, in both practice and fruits, as Dhammavinaya, conjoined. Although we have collections called Dhamma and collections called Vinaya, they are also reflecting one whole, the whole of the Buddha Sasana, the Blessed One's dispensation, which is very much still alive in the world. However we speak of it, whether as Ubato, dual Sangha, the monastic Sangha of bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, as the monastic and householder 4-fold Sangha of noble disciples, also called the 8 kinds of noble beings who have realized the path and fruits, or as the manifold Sangha, replete with all its great diversity of paramis and virtuous and excellent qualities, Ananta Gunasampanna. We should speak inclusively, holistically, and progressively. The path is progressive, Nyaya Patipanno, leading inwards, leading onwards, to be experienced for themselves by the wise, for those who would be wise. Esa Bhagavato, Sāvaka Sangho. These are the Blessed One's disciples. Such ones are worthy of salutations, worthy of gifts, worthy of offerings, an incomparable field of merit for the world. Anutarang punya ketang lokasati. So this is the end of my brief presentation, but not the end of the Bhikkhuni Sangha's living legacy and the living legacy of the Buddha. I've been asked to say something a little bit about our International Bhikkhuni Day Sima establishment and Bhikkhuni Upasampada higher ordination here at Dhammadharini, the Sonomagiri Bhikkhuni Āramā, also known as Dhammadharini Monastery, in the San Francisco North Bay in Northern California, on the Potapada or Bhadrapad full moon, September 10th through 11th, 2022, just this past weekend. Sima inauguration. The Dhammadharini Padha Sima, named Apulasala Sima, the thorn removed, was established by the Bhikkhuni Sangha, led by myself, Tathalokā, with Venerable Sobhanateri as senior Kammawacacharini, Venerable Pramawara Bhikkhuni as assisting Kammawacacharini at Dhammadharini Sonomagiri Bhikkhuni Āramā, commonly known as Dhammadharini Monastery, again, on the September full moon 2606th Bhikkhuni Sangha founding anniversary. The establishing Bhikkhuni Sangha quorum also included the Bhikkhunis Venerable Nayaka, Venerable Ahimsa, Venerable Metta-jivi, Venerable Kachayana, and Venerable Saddha. Some photos of the Sima inauguration are Bhikkhuni Sangha here in Northern California. So the Sima was established with a 6-stone outer ring made of Dakota ledgestone, with the stones 2/3 buried in the granite Sima court. The first stone was an entry dedication stone to the east. The second and third stones to the southeast and southwest. The western stone sits behind the Buddha, and the fifth and sixth stones were at the northwest and northeast. This is the outer ring of the Sima. The dedication of the Sima entry stone. Sammake sawake pahasa etang buddhanavantanam. Seeing the Sangha in harmony. This is homage to the Buddhas. The Buddha speaking to Gautami, Maha Pajapati Gautami Terigata, also in the Teri-apadana. So the inner ring of the Sima, also Dakota ledgestone, 2/3 buried in the granite Sima court. The first and second stones are to the southeast and southwest. Then the western stone, directly behind the Buddha, is another dedication stone. And stones 4 and 5 to the northwest and northeast. So Padasima is a bound or tied off Sima. So then we made a circle coming back and closing off the ring. The dedication of the western Sima stone behind the Buddha. Dosa Gingpana Metahiyam Nipapenti Narutamaham Moha Gingpana Panyahiyam Yayang Nipetakamini. Applying loving kindness, the exalted among humankind, extinguish the fires of hatred. Applying wise discernment, they go on to penetrate the truths and extinguish the fires of delusion. The words of the Buddha from the Iti Uddaka. After directly following the Dhammadharini Bhattasima establishment, it being the full moon Uposatha, the Bhikkhuni Sangha's first act within the newly inaugurated Apula Salasima was to recite the 311 precepts of the Bhikkhuni Patimokkha Pali. The recitation was invited by me, and Venerable Nyanika Bhikkhuni offered the recitation. Attending were also Bhikkhunis Venerable Sopanateri, Venerable Ahimsa, Venerable Metta Jivi, Venerable Brahmawada, Venerable Kachayana, and Venerable Saddha. Some photos from the time of our gathering in the newly established Sima for Bhikkhuni Patimokkha Udayasana recitation. The day following the Pottapada full moon, the Bhikkhuni Sangha again assembled, led by Bhikkhuni preceptor Pavatini Upajjhaya, Tathalokā, myself, within the newly inaugurated Padasima at Dhammadharini Monastery to offer Bhikkhuni Uttapana Upasampada higher ordination. Following the candidates' instruction and exam with their Venerable Bhikkhuni Acharyinis, the Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha gathered in the Sima, and after hearing the request of the now Ekato Upasampanna, ordained on one side, candidates, they confirmed and completed the dual higher ordination. Directly following the ordination, the senior-most Mahathero offered the traditional Anusavana, teaching on the 3 reliances, the 8 things never to be done, and the threefold training. Directly following, the senior bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni Ovadakacharya, offered the Ovada Dhammadesana, and the dual Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni Sangha chanted auspicious verses of blessing. The 2 fully ordained, Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammanusari and Venerable Bhikkhuni Dhammawada. Some photos from the Bhikkhuni Upasampada. Here the 2 candidates are entering the Bhikkhuni Sangha in the Sima. And they are requesting ordination from the preceptor. And then here, after the Bhikkhu Sangha's confirmation and completion of the ordination, the Ubato, dual Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni Sangha gathered together in the Sima with the two newly ordained Bhikkhunis. You can see the whole Sangha gathered together. And this is the Ovada. Our Ovadakacharya Bhante is giving the Dhamma teaching just directly after the ordination and the Sangha chanted blessings. So here we have the ordaining Bhikkhuni Sangha and also the ordaining Bhikkhu Sangha with this commemorative photo of our whole monastic community together. And I just have to say, after 3 years of not being able to gather together like this due to COVID, it was really a very joyful occasion. I'd like to also offer a special note of appreciation with regards to the renascent Khmer Cambodian branch of the Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. Here, seated in the top row, from left to right, are the first 3 Bhikkhunis of renascent Cambodian branches of the Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. And the viewer's upper left just ordained this last weekend in our Sima here, Venerable Dhammanusari Bhikkhuni, formerly known as Seminary Sattajivi, received Upasampada on September 11, 2022, in our new Sima. So she's now the 3rd Cambodian heritage Bhikkhuni in the world. In the center, Venerable Metajivi Bhikkhuni, who received Upasampada in 2018 in Sri Lanka, and in the viewer's upper right, Venerable Saddha Bhikkhuni, who received Upasampada last year, 2021, in North Carolina. Seated below, Seminary Jutindra, also of Cambodian heritage, who received Papaja in January 2021 at Anenja Vihara in the Bavarian Alps. So again, we've come to the end, but not the end of the Bhikkhuni Sangha's living legacy, offered in remembrance of the 2606th founding anniversary of the Buddha's Bhikkhuni Sangha and fulfillment of his founding intention to establish a fourfold community of disciples, heirs to his sasana. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Ratanataya.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Indeed, we can see the experience of unity in the Bhikkhuni Sangha, and we can see that the coming of more and more Bhikkhunis. And although it is challenging, but nevertheless, the Bhikkhunis continue to practice well and to bring forth this teaching, the Buddha's teaching, to the many while they practice, and to move forward to be ordained is challenging, and to maintain that going forth and to be trained to become a Bhikkhuni is also challenging. And after becoming a Bhikkhuni, to stay as a Bhikkhuni and for long, and to continue to practice and also to bring this practice to many people is indeed need a lot of good qualities to maintain. So today, celebrating the International Bhikkhuni Day 2022, with this living legacy, we are also facilitating 4 Bhikkhunis who have reached, and by end of this Vasa, 3 of them has reached to the state of Mahathero, means 20 years, and also one of them this year, by end of Vasa, is 21 years. So I'd like to share with you their journey from a layperson to what they are now, and their contribution to the sasana, and for all of us to be inspired, and hopefully, like what Bhante say, as a path that the Buddha has shown us, a path that is like an open air, not dusty. These are the path that needs a lot of patience, endurance, determination, and also perseverance, just for one goal. the goal of Nibbana. So let us now rejoice to congratulate all our Mahatheris for their right effort to bring this history back to lineage, back to the living legacy, and alive in this very era. So maybe now by the technical support to also play the video. Thank you.
My life is filled with blessings, abundant like the air. I've a little bit of everything and a lot of love to share. I have all my friends to thank for, and I've nothing to regret. So please kindly do remind me if my blessings I forget. There are days of joyous laughter, of simple endless fun. There are times of childlike wonder, it's as if life's just begun. I must thank the happy faces of the people that I've met. They have soothed my times of trouble, they have helped me learn and grow. So I think it's now the right time to return its deeds of love and become a shining blessing to one and all above. My life is filled with blessings, abundant like the air. I've a little bit of everything and a lot of love to share. I have all my friends to thank for, and I've nothing to regret. So please kindly do remind me if my blessings I forget. There are days of joyous laughter, of simple endless fun. There are times of childlike wonder, it's as if life's just begun. I must thank the happy faces of the people that I've met. They have soothed my times of trouble, they have helped me learn and grow. So I think it's now the right time to return its deeds of love and become a shining blessing to one and all above.
As we can see, our venerables and our Bhikkhus divine.
When the life I chose had refused to shine, you revealed the truth from beyond all space and time. You had me come to see the noble eightfold way. It's now my home, it is where I'm staying today. I can see you now, though you've gone away. 'Cause I've come to know you through the Dharma that you gave. I'll radiate my thoughts of gratitude to you. I'm living by the truth, and I'm grateful that you showed me the way. In your wisdom and compassion lies a path that you paved. When I look into your deeds and words, I see you again. You have really cared for me. You showed me the way. On this path to joy and freedom, I can heal and be brave. I'm practicing the Dharma that you taught me. Now my life shines so brightly. When I hear your words, I'm truly happy. Thankful that you showed
you've often taught me to be mindful every day. I'm honoring your deeds by practicing that. Be thankful that you showed me the way.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, we really rejoice. And as you see, there are 4, yeah? Actually, there are more, but because of the constraint of time, we share with you and we gladly rejoice to facilitate their coming to be Mahatheris. And the 4 of these Mahatheris that they have shown is Ayah Vidita Dhamma, Liupa Mahatheri. She's the first Vietnamese Bhikkhuni and Pavatini. The second one is Ayah Gunasari Mahatheri, yeah? From Maha Pajapati Monastery, California, USA. And she is the first Burmese Bhikkhuni and Pavatini, yeah? And third is Ayah Sudama Mahatheri. She's the founder of Charlotte Buddhist Vihara, North Carolina, USA. She's the first Euro-American Bhikkhuni and Pavatini. And the fourth one is none other by Ayah Dhammananda Mahatheri. She's the first Thailand Bhikkhuni and Pavatini. So sadhu, 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 excellent for their contribution and for their continuing the Buddha Sasana and to also to lead and to develop the Bhikkhuni Sangha and to the higher stage so that more and more people will be able to have this good platform to walk the noble path as a Sangha. So we wish them a long, healthy and happy life, and also may they be able to spread the true Dhamma far and wide for the well-being, for the happiness and benefit of the many. And may they also realize the bliss of awakening at the earliest opportunity. So now, without delay again, we would like to invite one of them, Bhikkhuni Dhammananda Mahatheri, to also share with us on this auspicious night. And let me introduce her biography. Venerable Dhammananda Mahatheri was born on October 6, 1944 as Chatsuman Kabil Singh. Her mother, Āramā Kabil Singh, was the first Thai woman to be fully ordained as a Bhikkhuni, and her father strongly supported the revival of the Bhikkhuni Sangha in Thailand. Venerable Dhammananda received a Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy from Visva Bharati University and her master's degree in religion from Macaster University in Canada. She then attended Bhagat University in India, where she obtained her PhD in Buddhism. In 2000, she took early retirement from Thammasat University and received the Bodhisattva's precept from Po Kong San in Taiwan. Within a year, she took Papaja, a seminary ordination in Sri Lanka, from Venerable Bhikkhuni R. Sadat Sumana and Venerable T. Tathalokā Bhikkhu. In 2003, she defied convention and was ordained as Dhammananda Bhikkhuni, the first Thai woman to be ordained in a Theravada monastic lineage. Venerable is the Abbess of Wat Songdhammakalyani, 30 miles southwest of Bangkok, a temple built by her mother some 40 years ago. Venerable writes and speaks on issues central to socially engaged Buddhism, such as the intersection of a tradition with the environment, poverty, feminism, and education. She is tireless advocate for advancing the role of women in modern Asian Buddhism. Her approach is both global and grassroots. She believes that Thailand's troubles must be solved by its people and offers concrete and practical solutions for serious reform for monastic and lay Buddhists, in particular, the re-establishment of the Bhikkhuni order. We would like now to invite Venerable Dhammananda Mahatheri to deliver her speech and the talk.
Greetings to Mahasangha. Thank you so much, Venerable Sumangala, for introducing me. And also this evening, very particular, I feel very moved. First of all, I would like to pay respect to Venerable Seewalee, our teacher, our Phante. And also today I met yet another Phante, Venerable Sumitta. Now we know that we have our Dharma brothers whom we can depend on. His speech was very moving. I feel very, very happy now to have yet another Dharma brother that we could depend on. I felt also joyful to see Venerable Tathalokā and her activities in her monastery, and very happy to see the new Sima and the recent ordination, which is a big move. I think it's a big move, both for United States and also for the world. So very happy. And today I would like to, just a small correction. I finished my master at McMaster, not McCaster, McMaster, and then Magat University, just the spelling. Thank you so much. My talk tonight, I wanted to focus on the dual ordination, which was, in my country, lots of misunderstanding. So I thought this talking about dual ordination is very important, and particularly for our movement, for the Bhikkhunis, to establish the Bhikkhunis, unless and until the ordination is properly done, so that's a big issue. And very happy to see Venerable Lifap, my Dharma sister. She's 1 year senior in ordination, and without knowing, she was ordained at the very same place that I was also ordained 1 year after. So I feel that we actually share the same lineage. Tonight, I would like to talk to you about dual ordination, and can I please have my video clip?
Respected Mahasangha, I'm very happy to be with you today. The topic that Venerable Ayya Santini had given me was to speak on dual ordination. Dual ordination becomes quite an issue for the present establishment of the Bhikkhuni Sangha, particularly in Theravada tradition. Bhikkhuni ordination in Southeast Asia is newly revived. Certain points were left unclear, but with respect to historical timeline, one should not be confused. So allow me, I'm presenting to you according to historical timeline. I think this is the easiest way to understand and to appreciate dual ordination. First of all, we know that when the Buddha was enlightened, 5 years, that was when he had the Bhikkhu Sangha started for 5 years. Then Mahapajapati, Queen Mahapajapati, who was also the Buddha's aunt and stepmother, approached him for ordination. At that time, the ordination that was given to Venerable the Queen Mahapajapati was ordination from the Buddha through Venerable Ananda, and what she got was a Garudharma. So Garudharma was remembered by Venerable Ananda directly from the Buddha. This is according to the Theravada text. And then given to Mahapajapati. And Venerable Mahapajapati took it with all her heart. She was very happy to take Garudharma. So she's the first Bhikkhuni who received ordination through taking 8 Garudharma. Then the second point that we come to study is the Bhikkhunis. Also one point that I need to add here is that this ordination was given to women because they can be enlightened. they can be enlightened. Satchika tunti, they can see it with their own eyes. I think this is very important point that we as women should take note and should be delightful that with this condition the Buddha allowed women to step forward. And then the next point, that the women who followed Mahapajapati, who followed the Queen Mahapajapati to be ordained, they were Sakyanis. They were called Sakyani in the Buddhist text. These were from the Sakyan family, and they were mostly palace women. Large number, but in commentaries often says 500. But we imagine it is large number of these women. They were given ordination by the bhikkhus. This is the allowance that the Buddha actually gave to the bhikkhus. He said, "O bhikkhus, I allow you to give ordination to women as bhikkhunis." So underline this. This is the Buddha's allowance for the bhikkhus to give ordination to bhikkhunis. This allowance was not lifted up, therefore it is still intact. Yes, this is important point to remember. The next point I would like to bring to your attention, historical timeline. Then after some time, there's this one particular candidate, she also asked for ordination, but somehow she was uncomfortable and she refused to answer the Antarayika Dhamma. Antarayika Dhamma as we have now, 13 for the bhikkhus and 24 for the bhikkhunis. So what happened then? The ordination cannot be continued, So the bhikkhus who were giving her ordination came back to the Buddha and asked the Buddha, this is the problem, how we should proceed, how can we proceed? The Buddha asked for the reason why this candidate refused to answer Antarayika Dhamma or purified herself, clarified herself of these 24 dangerous points that might be dangerous for leading monastic life. So then he came to know that this woman was shy to answer such questions in front of all these bhikkhus, because some of the questions were very, very private, asking about her private parts like that, So the Buddha understood, and with his compassion, with his loving kindness, he said, oh, in that case, these are very personal questions. Let the bhikkhunis do it. Let the bhikkhunis come in and help the procession of the ordination by allowing the bhikkhunis to ask these Antarayika Dhamma from the candidates. So this is how the bhikkhunis were introduced into the procession, into the procedure of ordination, which was formally done completely by the Bhikkhu Sangha. The next point, we understand at this point that the bhikkhunis were introduced in order for the bhikkhunis to purify the candidates of Antarayika Dhamma. Okay, then the next one, as we see according to the timeline that we study, then some candidates were very clumsy. When they come in front of the Bhikkhu Sangha, they were very clumsy. So the Bhikkhu Sangha who were giving them ordination complained that these candidates were not trained well. So then the candidates were sent back to be trained. She still appeared very clumsy. So the bhikkhus asked, who trained her? Which bhikkhunis who trained her like that, So when they said, oh, bhikkhuni so-and-so was her teacher training her, then the bhikkhu Sangha came up with yet another condition, that the bhikkhuni who should be training her should be well versed in the Dharma Vinaya. She should be Pavatini. So this is how we get a picture of Pavatini is introduced into the procedure of ordination. That is, the candidate must be trained by Pavatini, and this Pavatini must be appointed by the Bhikkhu Sangha. And then we study the qualities of the Pavatini. Number one, she must be 12 vasas, that is, she must be senior. So we imagine that this actually must have happened at the time when the bhikkhunis at least have 12 vasas as their highest. Well versed, Pavatini must be well versed in Dharma Vinaya. Not only that, she must practice Dharma Vinaya herself. and well accepted by the Bhikkhuni Sangha and also by the Bhikkhu Sangha. Important quality of the Pavatini, she must be appointed by the Bhikkhu Sangha. So far, I have not seen that the women, that the Bhikkhunis were allowed to perform as upajjhaya. You know, in the present day, sometimes we hear the Bhikkhunis, the senior Bhikkhunis are being called upajjhaya, meaning one who give upajjhaya, one who give upasambhada. I have not come across this word upajjhaya, but we have pavatini. So, you know, upajjhaya for the male preceptor, for the Bhikkhu preceptor is called upajjhaya, and then the teacher on the Bhikkhuni side is called pavatini. You see that they have different roles. So, as my understanding, upasambhada therefore is given by the Bhikkhu Sangha. But then someone argued that, but there is Kamavaja, you know, the verses that we recite for asking for upasambhada by the Bhikkhuni. By the Bhikkhuni, it seems as though the Bhikkhunis were also giving upasambhada. To my understanding, if you read timeline very carefully, that, you know, remember that case, you know, that candidate was very clumsy, so she had to be sent back to the Bhikkhuni Sangha, and the Bhikkhuni Sangha trained her and actually gave a rehearsal as though the Bhikkhunis are actually giving the upasambhada themselves, you know, and this rehearsal was mistaken as the real upasambhada. So therefore, at this point, I understand that upasambhada must be done by the Bhikkhu Sangha, finalized by the Bhikkhu Sangha, or whatever ordination that you might have gone through, unless and until it is upasambhada, the final stage is done by the Bhikkhu Sangha, then only it is accepted as upasambhada, as ordained Bhikkhuni. Then we have Garudhamma. In this Garudhamma number 6, which I think often leads to misunderstanding. In this Garudhamma number 6, the candidates, you know, who had been trained as Sikhamana, I still have to talk about Sikhamana later on. Sikhamana who had been trained under the Bhikkhuni for complete 2 vasas, she must seek both sanghas for upasambhada. This has been misunderstood as seeking ordination from both sanghas. To my understanding, seek both sanghas. For the Bhikkhunis to train candidate, to purify the candidates of Andarayika Dhamma, and then for the Bhikkhu Sangha to give upasambhada. This is my understanding. So therefore, we go back into the history and the real incident that took place in 1998. That is a year when we considered, you know, at least in Southeast Asian countries, we consider that is the beginning of Theravada Bhikkhuni ordination in the contemporary time. You remember that there were large group of people who came for ordination, hundreds, you know, something like 148 who came for the ordination in Bodh Gaya. The ordination was offered by Phu Guangshan. In Bodh Gaya, there were hundreds of candidates, but only 20 candidates who received ordination from Bodh Gaya, and then they were taken. This is only Sri Lankan candidates who were already fully ordained in Bodh Gaya. They were taken to Sarnath and yet gave another ordination, purely Theravada, by the 20 senior Sri Lankan Bhikkhu Sangha who were there at that time, you know. So why they had to move from Bodh Gaya to Sarnath? Because in Sarnath they actually have their own Theravada consecrated Sima according to Theravada style. So the 20 candidates who were already received ordination from both Bhikkhunis and Bhikkhu Sangha arranged by Phu Guangshan again were taken to Saranat and received another ordination. I consider this to be Talikama, that is confirmation. And with this confirmation of Upasambhada in 1998, that is how we started the lineage of the Bhikkhuni Sangha at the present time. So again, I come back to dual ordination. It is to seek both Sanghas, but ordination is given by the Bhikkhu Sangha. Upasambhada is given by the Bhikkhu Sangha, and we need the Bhikkhunis so that the Bhikkhunis can help with the purification of Andarayika Dhamma. This is my understanding, and so far we have been following this very closely. In the practice, the Bhikkhunis also give rehearsal at the beginning. It seems as though they were giving Upasambhada, but to my understanding, that was rehearsal, because Upasambhada is a Sangha Kamma. If it is done properly by one Sangha, it should be taken that it is completed. But it is meant to be completed in the Bhikkhu Sangha as allowed by the Buddha. So therefore, the one that is previously done by the Bhikkhuni Sangha is a rehearsal. This is my understanding. If you do have a different way of looking at the Sangha Kamma, at the Dharma Vinaya, we can always discuss and we can always share, so that the establishment of the Bhikkhuni Sangha in the present day, which is still very new, we are very young sapling yet, so that we can grow properly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Venerable. I think it's so important for the Buddhists at large to learn and to understand, because the term is so technical, to a lot of lay people. And when all these terms are explained, I think more people will understand. And when we have understanding, then of course less and less misinterpretation or misperception that may cause a lot of unwholesomeness or damage to the sasana itself. So it's so timely that we are also very glad that today Venerable has given us a very clear explanation about the system that the Buddha has set up, even for the community of Sangha. Just like when we go to university, there are different levels of practice or training to be higher and higher. But in terms of the Dhamma Vinaya, of course, the goal is Nibbana. So we are glad that today some of this term can be understood in a very simple way. And we hope more and more clarity will be among the Buddhists and among our Sangha, so that all can come with one heart and one mind, and with unity in the Sangha. And through this, I think the Sangha will be a shining light. The fourfold assembly will be a shining light to more people. So thank you very much again, and sadhu, and wishing Venerable also to rejoice with your coming of being a Mahatheri. We know that the effort and the patience and also the determination is of very inspiring qualities for others to also to walk the Dhamma way. Thank you again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we will also proceed to invite our next speaker. Our next speaker is Venerable Santini Mahatheri. She's the Abbess at Songdhammakalyani. She's the Abbess at Vihara Kusalayani, Sangha Bhikkhuni Theravada, Indonesia. And today, Venerable Santini Mahatheri would like to share with us on the importance of fourfold assembly, Chatuparisa. But before that, we would like to also to introduce Venerable Santini Mahatheri in a short video clip for her work and also for her development of Bhikkhuni Sangha in the world. Profile of Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahatheri. Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahatheri is the chief of the Indonesian Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. She was ordained as Anagarika on 29th of September 1990 by the late Venerable Bhikkhu Girirakkhito Mahathero. After waiting for a long time, then she found the way to be ordained as Theravada Bhikkhuni by the Venerable Dr. Henapola Gunaratana Mahathero on 15th of April, year 2000. She has founded a monastery on 1993, namely Vihara Kusalayani. Then now the monastery has 3 branches. First, Etia Sanghamita Kebonjeruk, Jakarta. Second, Vihara Sanghamita Karawang. Third, Vihara Arya Dwipa Āramā, Taman Mini, Indonesia, Indah, Jakarta. In the revival and development of the International Theravada Bhikkhuni, she was participating as an Upajayani or Pavatini 5 times in Australia and once in Indonesia, as a Kamawaccharini once in Thailand, and as a witness once in Sri Lanka and once in India. On June 21st, 2015, the Indonesian Theravada Bhikkhuni Upasampada was held for the first time, spectacularly after more than 1,000 years of absence. On that occasion, 9 candidates came from various countries. She traveled to various cities in Indonesia and to several other countries to spread the Dhamma. In the year of 2007, the United Nations awarded her the Outstanding Woman in Buddhism Awards. In the year 2020, she was also selected as a recipient of an award from the Pancasila Ideology Development Agency from the Indonesian government. This appreciation was for those who have achievements and innovations that are beneficial to society, nation, and state, as well as the international community. In this case, she received an award for the category of Interfaith Mover. Her other activities: hosting Dhamma retreats for children and adults twice a year, hosting meditation retreats 3 times a year in Vihara Kusalayani, once a year in Brahma Vihara Āramā, Bali, printing Buddhist magazines for adults and children, organizing social activities in several towns, recording Dhamma talks to send through social media, giving online Dhamma talks during COVID pandemic, and daily practice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we gladly invite Venerable Santini Mahatheri to deliver a talk.
Namo Buddhaya. First of all, I would like to pay respect to Most Venerable Bhante P. Seewalee Mahathero and Most Venerable Bhante Sumitta Mahathero and all Sangha members. Thank you so much for your attention on Bhikkhuni Sangha, which is one of the 4 pillars of Buddha Sasana. To all participants, it is so good to have you all here. Once again, we have gathered this time to commemorate 2 important events which mean so much to us as Bhikkhunis. The first is to commemorate the establishment of Bhikkhuni Sangha as the 4th pillar in Buddha Sasana. Thus, they came into being the completion of 4 pillars, namely Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhuni Sangha, Upasika, and Upasaka. Let us see what happened then. Well, something big happened 5 years after Prince Siddhartha attained enlightenment and King Suddhodana passed away. Mahapajapati Gotami, with a big group of Sakya women, entered the Dhamma path as Bhikkhunis, of course with the permission of the Buddha. That way came the establishment of Bhikkhuni Sangha, the 4th pillar of Buddha Sasana, while the Buddha was still alive. Living in Dhamma under the Buddha's guidance, many women worked seriously to develop their minds so that they also attained arahantship, just like what men did. Many bhikkhunis attained arahantship, the same as many bhikkhus who worked seriously. It is so relieving to know that arhatship is not the monopoly of men only. Every human being, despite their genders, can definitely erase their defilements to liberate themselves from suffering, which naturally comes as the fruits of defilements. And our great teacher has shown us the way. Under his guidance, it has been proven that women can attain the high spiritual attainments. 2,600 years have passed. The world has progressed or regressed a lot. Modernization takes place. Gender discrimination is no longer popular in many areas, including in spiritual area. Yes, it is very strange that in this modern era, some people or some groups of people, or rather some Buddhist groups of people, still have gender discrimination about spiritual attainment. They think that only men can be liberated. Women cannot. Only men can attain liberation. Women cannot. What a view! As a result, when we had the revival of Bhikkhuni ordination, meaning the revival of Bhikkhuni Sangha, lots of negative responses took place. Instead of feeling happy that the 4 pillars of Buddhism are now complete, they feel shocked and directly make some moves to attack this 4th pillar, Bhikkhuni Sangha. It seems that they panic and are far from being happy. The Buddha was the one who established the Bhikkhuni Sangha. But these people who call themselves Buddhist, the followers of the Buddha, dare to oppose the revival of Bhikkhuni Sangha. Did they cheer and have a big party, feeling happy when Bhikkhuni Sangha disappeared? Because the Bhikkhunis at that time in very terrible positions, so they could not go on living as Bhikkhunis, I wonder. But Dhamma has power. Yes, it does. After so many 100 years, the Dhamma seeds started to grow in the hearts and minds of some women. This Dhamma power was so strong that the women could not stop their struggles to continue what had been taught by the Buddha. Against all odds, once again, there was a strong movement of women who decided to become Bhikkhunis, living a Dhamma life as shown and taught by the Buddha. So much hardship and so many problems came to these women, sometimes almost unbearable, because the attacks came from the other Buddhist pillar or pillars. Some Bhikkhunis know how bitter it is to be harmed by some bhikkhus or some upasikas or upasakas. But Dhamma works. Several decades have passed. Bhikkhuni Sangha still exists. Bhikkhuni Sangha now gets more spots of bhikkhus and upasikas and upasakas. Those who opposed and tried very hard to harm, slander, attack, even destroy Bhikkhuni Sangha have slowly faded away. Actually, we Bhikkhunis must thank those opponents. Because of them, we get stronger So, if there is less opposition now, we must still be aware and mindful. Do not reduce our strength, tired as we are. We must continue our struggle to come closer to our goal, liberation, Nibbana. It is difficult, but not impossible. One step at a time, we go firmly to that direction shown by the Buddha. Maybe some of us women have some doubt in our mind. Is it true? Is it really true that women can be liberated? The answer is clear. The path to liberation is not specially paved for specific gender. The path to liberation is paved for those who step on it, regardless of gender. At this era, however, we still have discrimination of gender. Beware. The Buddha opposed those things, knowing very well that we reap what we have sown. How relieving and how true. That is why the Buddha's teaching is called Dhamma, the truth. All the Buddha's teachings have the same taste, the taste of liberation. Let us put it deep in our hearts. Now the time comes for a question: how to walk on the path to arrive at the destination. What to do? Let us see a wonderful sutta in Samyutta Nikaya called Kosala Samyutta with the Kosalan. Samyutta Nikaya 3.4. Loved. At Savatthi, seated to one side, King Pasenadi said to the Buddha, "Just now, sir, as I was in private retreat, this thought came to mind. Who are those who love themselves? And who are those who don't love themselves?" Then it occurred to me, those who do bad things by way of body, speech, and mind don't love themselves, even though they may say, "I love myself." They don't really. Why is that? It's because they treat themselves like an enemy. That's why they don't love themselves. Those who do good things by way of body, speech, and mind do love themselves, even though they may say, "I don't love myself." They do really. Why is that? It's because they treat themselves like a loved one. That's why they do love themselves. "That's so true, great king. That's so true," said the Buddha. And he repeated the king's statement, adding, "If you regard yourself as loved, you wouldn't yoke yourself to wickedness. For happiness is not easy to find by someone who does bad deeds. When you are seized by the Terminator as you give up your human life, what can you call your own? What do you take when you go? What goes with you like a shadow that never leaves? Both the good and the bad that a mortal does in this life is what they can call their own. That's what they take when they go. That's what goes with them, like a shadow that never leaves. That's why you should do good, investing in the future life, the good deeds of sentient beings, spot them in the next world. My dear sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, let us love ourselves in the right way. We come to the essence of the teaching of all Buddhas. Let's avoid doing bad karma mentally, verbally, and physically. Let's do good karma mentally, verbally, and physically. Let's do good karma with purified mind. The fact that we have chosen our lifestyle as Bhikkhunis is something which is wonderful. It is not easy to follow the spiritual path as Bhikkhunis, but everything valuable is always hard to get. Diamonds, gems are hard to get. Pebbles, gravels are easy to get. Valuable, rare things are expensive. Likewise, living a life as a Bhikkhuni has lots of difficulties, but we are not afraid. We are willing to do it because it is doable, and we are willing to pay the price because we want the prize. It is all worth doing. Again, it is not easy to live as a Bhikkhuni, but we must thank ourselves and thank the first Bhikkhuni who could make the Buddha willing to give permission to live a spiritual life as a Bhikkhuni in the same way a man as a Bhikkhu. That woman was most venerable Mahapajapati Gotami, whom we pay respect to today. Let us fill our hearts with joy and happiness because we are all blessed to be here in this life as Bhikkhunis, as Bhikkhus, as Upasakas, as Upasikas, as followers of the great teacher, the Buddha. I would like us all to read Theravada 6.6, Mahapajapati Gotami Theri, a mother's blessing, translated from the Pali by Andrew Olensky. Buddha, hero, praise be to you, you foremost among all beings, you who have released me from pain, and so many other beings too. All suffering has been understood. The source of craving has withered. Cessation has been touched by me on the Noble Eightfold Path. I have been mother and son before, and father, brother, grandmother too, not understanding what was real. I flowed on without finding peace. But now I have seen the Blessed One. This is my last compounded form. The onflowing of birth has expired. There's no more rebecoming now. See the gathering of followers, putting for the effort, self-controlled, always with strong resolution. This is how to honor the Buddhas. Surely, for the good of so many, did Maya give birth to Gotama, who burst asunder the maze of pain of those stricken by sickness and death. That is the wonderful expression said by Most Venerable Mahapajapati Gautami. If we ponder deeper, we can come to a conclusion that the compassion of the Sammasambuddha has shaped so many beings in the past and is saving so many beings now, and is still going to save so many beings in the future. Thinking about it, aren't we all super lucky to have the Buddhas as our great teacher and great hero? Aren't we all super fortunate to have Buddha Dhamma to make us able to struggle for self-conquest and to bring us to liberation and perfect victory? It is indeed the highest blessing that we can come in contact with Buddha Dhamma, which can guide us to put down our burdens, to leave the sources of suffering, and to live in harmony with reality in this life and nature. That way, we can taste the fruits of calm, peace, wisdom, and happiness. Though still in a very small scale, yet we can and must move forward bit by bit, the best way we can, one step at a time, onward to the direction of liberation, to the cessation of dukkha. Through this commemoration today, let us pay homage to Most Venerable Mahapajapati Gautami Teri, who paved the way for a life path as Bhikkhuni. Indeed, we must be grateful and thankful, because what we experience now is the result of those who struggled to establish Bhikkhuni Sangha, and we must be grateful and thankful to those who revived the existence of Bhikkhuni Sangha after it disappeared for so many centuries. Without their persistent effort and endurance, we would not be here today as Bhikkhunis. Let us not let them down. May all beings be happy with our decisions to be Bhikkhunis, good and serious Bhikkhunis. May the Triple Gems guide us in our life path. May the best come to us all. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, Venerable Bhikkhuni Santini Mahatheri, for very inspiring Dhamma sharing to inspire all of us, whether Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni, or whether Upasaka and Upasika, to always focus on the goal of liberation. This path, indeed, is a blessed path that the Buddha has shown us, and we truly appreciate all the pioneers, and from beginning from the Buddha up to now, and we are grateful for their strive and for their diligence and perseverance to continue to show us this path, that the Buddha Sasana may continue to grow and prolong for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of the monk. Now, without further ado, we'd like to invite Bhante, the Most Venerable P. Seewalee, Nayaka Mahathero, the Chief Sanghanayaka, General Secretary of Mahabodhi Society of India, was today very busy because of our celebration on the 158th birth anniversary of Anagarika Dhammapala. And today Bhante would also share with us the journey of revival of the Buddha's holy site, and the revival of Buddhism in India and in the world, and also the reviver of Bhikkhuni Sangha, and his effort to continue to support and to ensure that this is happening. And let us now introduce Bhante. Bhante was born in Pelwati village in the northern province of Sri Lanka as the youngest one of 5 brothers and 6 sisters. At the age of 9, he entered the order in the village temple under preceptorship of Venerable K.P.Atissa Mahathero of Siam Nikaya, and later took Upasampada at the same temple. He graduated from the famous Vidyalankara Pirivena at Colombo. Bhante has completed his master's in Pali and Buddhist studies in the Sampurnan and Sanskrit University, Varanasi. And Bhante is the General Secretary of Maha Bodhi Society of India since 2016. And he has been focusing on the revival of the Buddha Dhamma and Popo Assembly in India and abroad. Under Bhante's stewardship, the Pali chanting ceremony commenced annually since 2006 at Maha Bodhi Society, Bagaya, and precept masters are arranged to train monks in chanting Tipitaka in proper Pali pronunciation and phonetics during the rain retreats. Bhante also has been instrumental in Bhikkhuni development and became the Bhikkhu Upajjhaya for the Bodhgaya International Theravada Bhikkhuni ordination in January 2019, where 24 Bhikkhunis were ordained. Since 2020, Bhante also has organized short-term 3-month Mandarin Leadership program in Bodhgaya, India, to nurture the development of Bhikkhuni Sangha in India. In 2021, under the guidance of Bhante, the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International was established, and Venerable Bhante P. Seewalee has become our spiritual advisor. So we are glad today with Bhante's blessings. We all, the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International, can gather together from all parts of the world to celebrate this unity of the Bhikkhuni Sangha, and also to remember the way of how this revival take place. And we'll hear more from our most venerable P. Seewalee Mahathero. Bhante, the floor is yours.
Oh yes, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. And thank you, Bhikkhuni Sumangala, for your kind introduction. So many things you have said about me. I also do not know some, but I forgot so many things I have done. And anyway, you're reminding me so many things in the past I have done when I was in Bodhi. So thank you so much. And I wish you very, very happy International Bhikkhuni Day to all the Bhikkhuni Sangha worldwide. And may International Bhikkhuni Sangha continue in progress and to accomplishment of what a venerable Mahaprajapati Bhikkhuni expected from Bhikkhunis. And today, I also wish you a very happy Anagarika Dhammapala Day, the founder of Maha Bodhi Society of India. Today is 158th birth anniversary of Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala. So this is a very auspicious day. I'm glad and humbled to speak a few words. And since morning, as you well said, I was so tired, I had so many activities. This morning, we have many online meetings. We just finished one meeting. So you have heard so many things, I think, about today's important and historical background and about Bhikkhuni Sangha. So I'm not going to talk much about the background and historical facts of the International Bhikkhuni, Bhikkhuni Sangha. So I'm just want to give you very good news, on this very auspicious day. We just finished our executive meetings and our governing body meetings of the Maha Bodhi Society. We declared and honored that our Bhikkhuni coordinators of International Theravada, United Theravada Bhikkhuni International Bhikkhuni coordinators, we nominated all of them as our honorary members of the Maha Bodhi Society of India.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante.
So this is the first time this honor given to Bhikkhunis in Maha Bodhi Society. So our founder, very beginning, when he was in USA, very early, I think Bhikkhuni Tathalokā, she knows well about the background. And the first Bhikkhuni, I think, first Dasasil Mata, he ordained Anagarika Dhammapala. First Dasasil Mata from USA, I think early 1900s. So then I forgot her name. She went to Sri Lanka. She became Dasasil Mata, I think more than 100 years before. So our founder, Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala, at the very beginning, he wanted to establish and support, re-establish the Bhikkhuni Sangha, though he couldn't fulfill during his lifetime. So I'm glad that somehow, in a way, I could support, I could help. I'm being an assistance to re-establish and to support, to progressing and forward the International Bhikkhuni Sangha. So I'm happy today that UTBSI continuously, since it's established in 2020, late 20, I think November. So it continues every month, various programs, Dhamma programs, seminars, Dhamma teachings, ordination ceremonies. So it's really very, very glad to, fortunate to see such kind of how our Bhikkhuni is working so hard. Yes, you are well protected, I think, blessed by the Noble Triple Gems. Dhammo have rakhati dhammachari. So this is what you all being blessed. That there may be so many hurdles and difficulties, hardships. If today we face so many challenges and hardships, could you imagine how thousands of years before, when there's a single Bhikkhuni in Buddha Sasana, how they faced so many difficulties, some terrible incidents. When you go through the text, our Bhikkhunis faced during the Buddha's time. So it continues somehow in various countries. Bhikkhunis, of course, they will always face a lot of troubles, a lot of difficulties. But yes, at Bhikkhuni Santini said, yes, it cannot, it cannot defeat, even a defeat for maybe temporary, for a short time, but you cannot completely cut down the Bhikkhuni Sangha, cannot. Maybe difficulties, but it come up again and again. Because you are Dhamma sisters and Dhamma mothers in Buddha Sasana. So we need Bhikkhuni Sangha. We need so much, I think, nowadays in the world. It's a burning of hatred, violence, and it's so much everywhere. Anger, discriminations. It's continuous. It should not happen at least in Buddha Sasana, among the monks and Sangha. They are the pillars who are giving to the world the message of peace, the message of compassion, the message of metta. So I think now many monks, venerable monks, I'm happy to know that, learn about many monks, are venerable monks from various countries. They're coming, forward, extending their hearty support, full support to re-establishment of Bhikkhuni Sangha. So, Bhikkhunis, I want to say you that you are not alone. Your Dhamma brothers are here, everywhere. You are not alone at all. So we should not discourage the new Bhikkhunis, those who wish to become Bhikkhunis. They are not alone. They are always being supported by Bhikkhu Sangha. It's maybe a few that kind of monks or Sangha that they go through the hardcore rules and regulations of these books and text. But more important is that world need you, the society in general, people need you. So your service of Dhamma is very important to the society. We alone, how many monks in this world? How many population in this world? So we are not enough, only very limited. So that is why we must work together as the four pillars of Buddha Sasana. We must support each other. We must protect each other. So the Buddha Sasana, it is spread far and wide. Today in this society, in this world, we must spread, we must work hard. We must learn Dhamma more and more. We must practice Dhamma more and more. We must first ourselves practice and cherish in the Dhamma so that we can heal wherever is suffering, pains are there. We can send our compassion, metta to all in this short life. So this is what I think. We must work together, unitedly. Whenever some small issues comes, don't be discouraged. Go forward. Buddha says, why me te upuriso tavatta sampada? Just go forward. Never be discouraged from small defilements. That is the why we are human beings. We are human beings. Human beings can become Buddhas. Human beings can become Arahants, enlightened people, the divines. It is only human beings. So great Mahatheris lived. They faced a lot of challenges in the world, the society at that time, their pains, even the recent, I think in the beginning of this early 20th century, there was many Dasasil Matas and 10 precepted Matas, mothers, they were trying to establish the Bhikkhuni Sangha. They also faced a lot of criticism, condemns everywhere, not welcome. But at least they had courage. They shown their courage. So we are not going to step back, step down. No matter whatever difficulties comes, we must forward. So that's what actually Bhikkhunis, I wish to say. I also request our Upasaka and Upasikas, wherever you are listening, wherever you are, you must support Bhikkhuni Sangha. in your respective areas to establish, because this is one family. You know. In India, there is one saying, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, in the ancient saying India, Vasudeva, the world is one. World is one. So this was the message that when we say Sabbe Sattha Bhavantu Sukhitatta, wherever, no matter, you know, in Karaniya Sutta, we say Sumitta to all, you know, Digavaya Mahanta Majjhima, such and such things. So we send our metta can, I think there is a power of metta. You must cultivate more and more metta. Metta bhavana. So much powerful in there. So I have practical examples, many examples. By practicing metta meditation more and more, we can win over so many issues, so many small issues every day we are facing in the life challenges. We can win. We must practice, must be practical. Dhamma is help, blessed when we practice it, when we are living in the Dhamma. That is what we are living in the Dhamma. Then only blessings coming to us. That is the very nature of the Dhamma. So in these few words, I want to conclude my today's message to all the Bhikkhunis worldwide. And I would like to declare these names of our Bhikkhuni coordinators, Venerable Bhikkhuni Tathalokā from USA, and Mahatheri, Venerable Mahatheri Santini from Indonesia, Venerable Mahatheri Leopold Dhamma from Vietnam, Venerable Mahatheri Bhikkhuni Dhammananda from Thailand, and Venerable Bhikkhuni Bodhicitta from Australia, Venerable Bhikkhuni Sumangala from Malaysia. Now you are from today honorary members of Mahabodhi Society. And we are very happy. We are very happy to announce this today. This is tribute to, I think, our founder, Bodhisattva Nagarki Dharmapala, and also tribute to great Mahatheri, Mahaprajapati Gautami, and so many Mahatheris who lived in the past, who are living in the present, and who are coming in the future. So with these few words, I pray to Triple Gems, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. May Bhikkhuni Sangha live long. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Thank you so much, Bhante, for your very inspiring and very timely speech to continue to encourage and to give strength to the Bhikkhuni for them to continue to live by the Dhamma, so that the Dhamma can continue to protect them and bless them, and the four Sangha can continue to grow for the well-being of the many. We also wish Bhante to continue to also follow the Anagarika Dhammapala's path to revive the great teaching of the Buddha in the motherland and abroad, and to bring the four Sangha to be the shining light for the world. May Bhante also be blessed with good health, bliss of practice, and the attainment of enlightenment at the earliest opportunity. And may Mahabodhi Society of India and around the world continue to also be a source of support for all the activities of the Dhamma Vinaya propagation, and for more and more people to walk the noble path of the Buddha. And may this compassion of Bhante continue to flourish, and may all who come by Bhante's life be blessed with good health and so peace of mind, and also growth in the Dhamma. Sadhu again to Bhante. And indeed, not only today we felicitate the 4 Mahatheris, and we also gladly and very happy to hear the acknowledgement for the diligence and for the hard work of the Bhikkhunis around the world. And may this also be a source of inspiration and strength for future Bhikkhuni to come forward, to have fearlessness in walking the Dhamma's path and in also joining the noble community of the Sangha, as Buddha has left this lineage for those who are keen to walk the Dhamma's path. So we gladly today like to wish everyone a happy Bhikkhuni Day and also a happy celebration of the 158th birth anniversary of the Bodhisattva Anagarika Dhammapala, for the world peace, for the happiness of the many, and for the benefit of the many. Before we conclude, we'd like to invite Ayah Santini Mahatheri to make this good day conclusion with the chanting. So may Ayah Santini please lead us.
Okay. First of all, I would like to ask permission from Bhante Seewalee Mahathero to lead this chanting. All participants, we follow this program together. I hope we can benefit a lot from whatever we have got. Now it is time to end this program. Let us keep Agga Savika Bhikkhunis in our mind. Ratanyunang Bhikkhuninang Gotami Jinamatucha Thapita Anggathanamhi Sadasothing Karotuno Mahapanya Namanggatha Mahatheri Tipakata Sawika Buddha Sethasa Sadasothing Karotuno Theri Umpalawannaca Idhimanti Namuttama Sawika Buddha Sethasa Sadasothing Karotuno Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu
Thank you very much, Ayah Santini Mahatheri. And today, celebrating this Bhikkhuni Day, we have seen the Chatu Parisa coming together. And we are very thankful to Most Venerable Bhikkhu, Venerable P. Seewalee Mahathero, and also Venerable and Sumitta Mahathero for joining us and giving us all the encouragement and support, and also leadership in leading us to this path, and to all our Mahatheris from all over the world. We also thank you very much for coming together in unity to also show the path that is possible in our life, and is possible to be achieved, and that the Sangha, Bhikkhu or Bhikkhuni Sangha, is recognized by their virtue, by their diligence, and by their learnedness and wisdom to pave the way for liberation. We also are very thankful to all our Upasaka and Upasika, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, to come together also to support the Sangha, and at the same time to be diligent in their learning. And indeed, very thankful to all who are present here today for this inaugural celebration of the International Bhikkhuni Day, so that we'll be able also to take back all the good qualities and all the good inspiration for us to continue to strive fully. And we are very thankful to our technical team behind the screen that has come to help us to make this event online smoothly. And we like to thank Venerable Vijayani and Venerable Sadika and all the teams who have made the video for this program. And indeed, our gratefulness to all, and to remember to always be thankful to the Buddha and all the noble disciples, and whether the bhikkhus or the bhikkhunis in the past until today. And may the sasana continue to grow for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of the many. And in conclusion, before we adjourn to the final announcement, may we also inform a very auspicious event coming up in November 7 to November 14. There will be a Bhikkhuni Higher Ordination, International Bhikkhuni Higher Ordination program in Bodhi, where the actual day of the ordination is confirmed to be on the 11th and 12th of November, the International Bhikkhuni Ordination. And this is where, again, the coming together of the four pole assembly to continue to develop the Bhikkhuni Sangha, and it's organized by Maha Bodhi Society of India and also the United Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha International. So do rejoice, and those who can make to Bodhi, we welcome all of you to come and rejoice. At the same time, to come to be in contact with the Buddha's holy site and to get all the inspiration and motivation to walk the noble path more diligently. And with that, we thank everybody, and we wish all of you good health, happiness, and continue to grow in the Dhamma until the final Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.